Welcome to the SST Talk, where we talk about all things space, science, and technology. After kicking things off with robotics for space applications, we'll be diving deeper into other exciting space-related topics. For our second episode, we'll explore rockets and satellites, like why they're essential to modern space missions.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast on space science. My name is Elise, and I am with my classmates. So, guys, introduce yourselves.
I'm Fiel.
I am Gisa.
And I'm Katricia.
Okay, so I am with Fiel, Chisa, and Katricia. So, we are all fourth year astronomy students majoring in space science technology. And today, we will be discussing a research paper focused on nuclear powered propulsion systems and how they are shaping the future of rocketry, satellites, and deep space exploration. So we'll break down the science behind it, the advantages, real-world application, and the challenges that comes with this technology. So, but before we proceed, I will ask you guys a question. So the question is, if you were going to join a space mission, where would you like to go? Kung may sasamahan ka or sasalihan na space mission, saan mo gusto pumunta? So, I will answer the question first. So, siguro ako kung sasama ako sa space mission, siguro ang gusto kong puntahan is Jupiter. So, it's impossible na mag-land ang human sa Jupiter. But gusto ko makita yung POV, like POV from Jupiter na makita mo yung moons kasi 'di ba ang daming moons ng Jupiter. So, parang interesting niya sa akin. Kung dito super bright na ng moon kapag full moon eh. Ano pa kaya 'pag sa Jupiter na ang dami niyang moons, 'di ba? Okay, so that's my answer. So, guys, kayo naman tatanungin ko. If you were going to join a space mission, where would you like to go? Siguro, Fiel, answer first. So, kung sasali ka sa space mission, saan mo gustong pumunta?
I think siguro for me personally is Mercury since the it is like tidal lock sa sun. Not totally tidal lock, but a part of it is tidal lock sa sun and part of this is facing away. So I think it's cool na ma-visit in cooler side and maybe just in gitna in just the boundary between the cool side and the hot side na nakatapat sa sun. Because I think like very interesting yung environment na makita natin dun.
True. Parang interesting nga, no? Kasi yung isip yung
Daa.
siya yung pinakamalapit sa sa sun. Feeling ko pag punta ko pa nga lang dun eh, di pa ako nakakapunta dun, sunog na ako. Feeling ko sobrang init dun.
Pero may ano naman siya, 'di ba? Like yung cool side and hot side na nakatapat sa sun.
Totoo. Tas kasi kung iisipin mo yung difference nun, yung nakaharap, super init ba niya? Tapos yung nasa likod, super lamig ba? Or mainit pa rin siya? Alam mo yun, pero mas malamig lang.
Actually, yung extreme yung temperature, yung nakatapat sa sun is sobrang init. Then yung ano naman, nakatabi sa sun is sobrang lamig. Since wala siyang atmosphere. So, yeah.
Extreme. Okay, so thank you, Fiel, for answering that question. So now, G, sa ikaw naman. Saan mo gustong pumunta?
Ako gusto ko pumunta siguro sa Saturn. Although, 'di ba, gaseous siya, so hindi ka talaga makakaland dun. Pero kasi parang gusto kong makita up close yung mga rings ng Saturn kasi 'di ba iba-iba yung kulay tapos parang ang lawak niya. Aside from that, ayun, Saturn gusto ko puntahan kasi din may mga moon siya na pwede tayong mag-search ng life.
Diba? Tapos diba Saturn, marami rin
Wow.
siyang moons. Di ba yung Saturn, marami ring moons? Same with Jupiter.
Oo. So ano,
Yeah.
interesting talaga.
Oo, like imagine mo yung ano, yung POV. Kasi usually nakikita natin sa telescope lang naman eh. Tapos faint pa yun, dot lang. Tapos imagine mo yung POV na nasa Saturn ka mismo. Tapos makikita mo ang daming moons. Tapos makikita mo yung rings. Ano kaya yung tsura nun? Sa tingin mo ba, yung rings from POV mo from ano, Saturn, mukha siyang rainbow? Sa tingin mo?
Baka, di natin sure. Pero parang masaya tumagos sa rings ng Saturn.
Diba? Pero parang ang trippy. Ayan. So, thank you so much, Chisa. So, now last is si Catricia. Nahintay ko sagot nito ni Catricia eh. So, if you were going to join a space mission, where would you like to go? Saan mo gusto pumunta, Catricia?
Siguro yung ano, gusto kong puntahan is yung moon. Specifically yung other side ng moon na hindi naman talaga natin na-observe. So, parang mysterious pa siya na ano, like hindi pa talaga, parang kulang pa yung study sa kanya, yung mga gano'n. So, parang part siya ng bucket list ko, gano'n. Parang gusto ko i-explore yung other side, gano'n.
Tapos pag nakapunta ka na dun, Catricia, ano, lagay ka ng Philippine flag naman. Kasi 'di ba yung sila Neil Armstrong nung nakapunta naglagay sila ng flag ng Amerika. Tama ba?
Mm.
Lagay ka dun, Philippine flag. Tas parang ano, ang dark-dark niya 'no? Sa tingin ba, super dark lalo na kapag new moon, like super dark, sobrang dilim. As in wala talagang makikita. Interesting na 'no? Dark side of the moon. Okay, so thank you so much guys for answering our question. So now, let's proceed sa pag-uusapan natin talaga. So to start us off, can you briefly introduce the paper we chose and explain what the researchers were trying to study? So ano bang gusto nilang patunayan?
So, yung itatakal natin na paper ngayon is titled Nuclear-Powered Propulsion Systems for Multiplanetary and Deep Space Exploration na sinulat nila Malaya Kumar Biswal and Ramesh Kumar in 2025. So, I think Indian sila or Malaysians. Not sure. So, the main goal of the study was to explore nuclear power, specifically fission-based systems, can improve spacecraft performance. So, as sa title naman, nuclear powered for deep space exploration since usually is ginagamit sa deep space exploration is chemicals and other liquids. The researchers focused on how nuclear propulsion can reduce travel time, provide long-lasting power, lower mission costs in the long run, and enable mission to distant destinations like Mars, Jupiter's moons, and even beyond Saturn. So it is a very promising paper, I can say, but there is some challenges, but the result is very promising.
Thank you so much, Fiel. So hearing yung explain hearing you briefly introduce yung paper, sobrang interesting niya 'no?
Yeah,
So
it's interesting talaga ang space travel.
totoo, like nuclear propulsion, tas kung paano niya it can reduce travel time, provide long-lasting power. Tapos yung lower mission costs, yung kasi 'di ba super
Yeah,
expensive ng space exploration.
yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much again, Fiel, for answering that question. So now let's dive more into it. Okay. So for our next question, how did the researchers approach this problem? Can you explain the methods or technology they used in an easy to understand way? So, ano naman yung ginawa ng mga researchers doon sa problema, and puwede niyo bang i-explain yung methods or technology na ginamit nila in a way na mas mabilis or madaling maintindihan? So, parang ano, parang rocketry for dummies, gano'n. Kasi madaming words hindi ako familiar, so can you guys explain it in mas madaling way, mas madaling maintindihan?
So ano siya, parang basically, yung mga researchers dito, kinompare niya yung dalawang type ng nuclear power systems na ginagamit sa space. So yung unang type nung ah, propulsion system na ginagamit dito is yung radioisotope electric propulsion. So sa system na to, gumagamit siya ng heat na nanggagaling sa natural radioactive decay ng mga materials. So for example, yung plutonium-238. So yung heat na yon, nako-convert siya into electricity, which in turn pina-power niya yung mga instruments tsaka yung engine ng rocket. So yung RAP, ginagamit na rin siya dati sa missions katulad ng Voyager, ng Curiosity, tas ng Perseverance. Tapos yung pangalawang system naman is yung fission electric propulsion or yung FEP. So dito naman, merong nuclear reactor tapos nagpo-produce siya ng energy through controlled fission reactions. So sa FEP, pwede kang mag-generate ng mas madaming power compare mo sa REP. So, pag ginagamit yung yung FEP, mas mabilis yung possibility na makapag-travel tayo, tapos pwede siya magamit sa larger payloads, tapos pwede rin siya magamit sa longer mission, especially sa mga deep space at saka crewed missions.
So interesting. So ngayon ko lang narinig yang ano na yan, radioisotope electric propulsion and fission electric propulsion. So, tama ba yung pagkakaintindi ko? Parang mas powerful or mas ano itong fission electric propulsion kaysa sa radioisotope?
Oo, parang mas nagge-generate siya ng mas maraming power compare dun sa radioisotope.
Hmm, so interesting. So, thank you so much, Gisa, for that answer. And so now let's have another question. So for our next question, what were the main findings of the study? And why are these results significant for rocketry or satellite technology? So ano yung main findings and anong kahalagahan ng results na yon sa rocketry or satellite technology?
So, isa sa major finding is yung fission power systems can provide significantly higher and more stable power compared to traditional solar or chemical systems. Ibig sabihin nito is ideal sila for deep space missions where sunlight is weak or unavailable. The study also highlights that nuclear propulsion can reduce travel time, which is especially important for human missions to Mars. Kasi faster trips mean lower radiation exposure for astronauts and increased mission safety. Another key result is that fusion system allows spacecraft to operate for decades, supporting long-term exploration of the outer planets and Kuiper Belt objects. This is a major improvement over conventional systems.
Ang daming ano 'no, need i-consider. Like, for example, need mo pa i-consider yung mga sasama dun sa space exploration. Tulad dito, yung sa highlight na the study highlights yung nuclear propulsion can reduce travel time. So, especially, yun is important siya for human missions to Mars kasi faster trips, ibig sabihin is mas mababang exposure sa radiation. So, hindi siya yung once tapos na okay na 'no, ang dami pa ring need i-consider na factor. So, R&D talaga siya, research and development, and tuloy-tuloy na study siya. Okay, so thank you so much, Katricia, for that answer. Okay. So, about ano naman, 'di ba there may findings na. So, how can these findings be applied naman in real-world satellite or rocket missions?
So, marami siyang application based dun sa paper, but to be specific and particular, this system can be used in deep space probes, communication satellites from Earth, and scientific missions to places like Europa, Titan, and Neptune. Nuclear power allows spacecraft to function continuously without relying on solar energy. So very practical siya since we know naman na di usually or may mga times na di nakaka-receive ng solar power yung spacecrafts. So using this, pwedeng makapunta yung mga space probes or spacecrafts to deeper deeper objects into solar systems like Europa, Titan, and Neptune, or even beyond.
Very interesting. So, ano naman yung mga industries or future missions that could benefit from this research?
Siyempre yung recent na, sa news natin, yung sa pag-a-apply nito dun sa mga pagpunta natin sa moon. So, puwede siyang ma-apply dun sa mission natin na kunyari gagawa tayo ng lunar bases sa moon. So, siyempre mas mapapabilis yung pag-resupply mission, yung kuha ng resources from Earth kapag may ganito tayong propulsion system. So, aside from that, since gusto natin na pumunta sa Mars or parang ma-colonize yung Mars, siyempre matagal yung travel time papunta sa Mars. So, puwede tayong gumamit ng ganitong technology para mas mapabilis din yung paggawa natin ng parang habitat sa Mars. Tapos, siguro pagdating sa industries, puwede yung sa space mining since, paubos na rin yung resources natin, possible na maubos yung resources natin sa Earth. So, puwede natin magamit yung technology na 'to para makakuha tayo ng mga resources from, yung sa space.
Grabe, ang dami talagang nagagawa ng ano 'no, like science. Imagine like simple question, ang dami puwedeng masagot ta's possibilities are endless. Actually, ngayon ko lang rin na ano yung oo nga 'no, mataas yung chance na ano, maubos talaga yung resources natin dito sa Earth. Tas 'pag naubos, eventually 'pag naubos nga, saan tayo kukuha? Tas yun nga, space mining, grabe, so interesting 'no. I find this topic really interesting, especially because rocketry and space technology are starting to gain attention here na in the Philippines. We're seeing more institutions introducing rocketry and space science into their programs and syllabus, 'di ba? So, do you think research like this could eventually influence how countries like ours, Philippines, approach space education and technology development?
I think oo, like puwede talagang eventually ma-influence yung country natin especially kapag maayos na na-develop yung technology for nuclear, powered propulsion. So feeling ko 'pag puwede natin siyang i-adapt sa curriculum natin sa space education. So, I think puwedeng maglagay sa curriculum natin ng nuclear physics, gano'n. So, magiging interdisciplinary yung approach natin sa space education. So, I think aside from that, eventually kapag, nabuo na yung technology na yun, siguro ng ibang countries muna yung mauuna and puwede natin i-adapt sa Philippines yun. So, in the future kung magkakaroon ng launch site sa Philippines, puwede tayong gumamit ng nuclear-powered na propulsion systems.
So interesting. Thank you so much, Gisa, for that answer. Okay, so did the paper mention in any limitations ba or areas where future research is needed?
Yes, the paper discuss din yung several limitations Isa sa mga major challenge is yung higher initial mass of nuclear propulsion systems compared to traditional chemical or solar systems kasi mas expensive yung pag-launch niya. Another important limitation is yung need for radiation shielding and strict safety protocols because these systems use nuclear fuel. Spacecraft, especially yung may mga crews, required siya na magkaroon ng heavy shielding to protect astronauts and onboard systems from harmful radiation. This adds complexity, mass, and cost to spacecraft design. The paper also mentions technical challenges in scaling power levels beyond 100 kilowatts, as well as the limited flight heritage of nuclear propulsion compared to solar power. Future research is needed to improve materials, heat management, radiation protection, and real-world testing to make the systems more reliable and widely adopted.
Okay, thank you so much, Katricia, for that answer. So, super interesting talaga nitong topic na to, no? So, to summarize everything, this paper shows how nuclear-powered propulsion systems, particularly yung fission-based technologies, could transform the future of rocketry and satellite missions. So, despite yung mga challenges like yung mass, safety concerns, and limited flight history, advancements such as NASA's kilopower reactor demonstrate strong potential for long-term, reliable deep space exploration. So, super interesting talaga niya, no? So, again, thank you for answering my questions about the paper, and thank you for also listening, and we hope that this discussion helped make complex space research like this more accessible and easier to understand. So again, thank you so much, guys. I hope you learned something from us. So kayo guys.
Thank you for listening, guys.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Pojo! And that's a wrap on rocketry, where science meets insane engineering. Thanks for hanging out with us, and don't forget to catch our next episode as we continue exploring space tech.